Hey, you guys, get down! Go that way! Get out of here! There's gunshots coming from over there! Go that way! Go that way! There's gunshots right here! That's fireworks! That ain't gunshots! I just hit my head. Hey, go that way, go that way, go that way. Hey, they're shooting right at us, guys. Everybody stay down. Stay down. Where's it at? North of the Manly base, coming out of a window. Is that a back?
Hey, get behind cover! Sight. Hey, go back! Go back! Get back! Get back! Get back! Hey, I know you are. There's multiple people shot up there. I know. Get in there. Get in there.
We see muzzle flash from the Mandalay Bay. It's from Mandalay Bay. I can see the room. Everybody get down, get down, get down, get down.
It's got firecrackers?
Let's get down, get down, get down. I got a vest on. Benny, stay as close as possible. Where are you? Go, go. This way, this way, this way, this way, this way, this way. Go, 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 go. That way, that way, that way, that way.
Pure chaos. Las Vegas police release first body cam footage from shooting. The first body camera footage has just been released by Las Vegas police. It shows the sheer chaos and terror at the scene as they search for the shooter. By Matt Agarist, October 4, 2017. Las Vegas NV. The Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department has released the first body camera footage from the horrific massacre that left 59 people dead and more than 500 injured. In the footage, police are seen huddled down by a wall. To show just how chaotic it was, the wall they thought they were taking cover behind was actually facing the shooter. That wall faces Mandalay Bay and they are hunkered down behind that wall after the initial volley of shots, an LVMP spokesperson said. As confusion and over where the shots are coming from mounts, police are then seen telling civilians to run away from their position. Advertisement. As the video progresses, the short clips released by police show they appear to figure out where the shots are coming from and then take protective actions. The footage was released Tuesday night during a press conference with the LVMPD. It was compiled from several body cameras worn by law enforcement at the scene. Police said they are still going through a significant amount of footage from the incident, according to RT. During the latest press briefing, Under-Sheriff Kevin McMahill revealed that the shooting lasted up to 11 minutes and involved more than a dozen volleys of gunfire. Prior to releasing the body camera footage on Tuesday, Images were released by a local Boston news outlet that were allegedly taken from inside the hotel room used by Stephen Paddock to murder so many people. As Zero Hedge reports, somehow, Boston 25 News has obtained exclusive photos from what they describe as police sources purportedly showing the guns used during Sunday night's massacre in Las Vegas, where a 64-year-old shooter with a room full of weapons fired on a country music festival from the 32nd floor of the Mandalay Bay Casino and Resort, killing 59 people and injuring more than 500. Read more. Cop lost 15 seconds of video showing the moment he killed his second unarmed victim in 4 years. Boston 25's Jackie Henrick obtained the photos early Tuesday morning, and they clearly show the gun on the floor of the Mandalay Bay hotel room, along with many rounds of ammunition. View image on Twitter. View image on Twitter. Follow Jackie Heinrich, heavy checkmark at Jackie Heinrich. Exclusive, photo from inside #Mandalay Bay shooters hotel room shows gun, ammo, hammer, bipod, optics at Boston 25. 7:29 a.m., October 3, 2017. 8787 replies, 351 retweets, 172 likes. Twitter adds info and privacy. A hammer that was presumably used to break the windows of the room, which was on the 32nd floor, can be seen beside the gun. The bipod used to stand the weapon on as the shooter sprayed the crowd with bullets is also in view. Las Vegas police said the shooter, Stephen Paddock of Mesquite, Nevada, had 23 guns inside his hotel room, including semi-automatic rifles. An additional 19 guns were discovered in his home in Mesquite, along with thousands of rounds of ammunition. Meanwhile, explosives were found in his car, suggesting he may have been planning something even worse than the worst mass shooting in modern American history. Paddock killed himself as police entered his hotel room, Boston 25 reported. While none of the weapons in the photos are fully automatic arms, the bump stock that was used by the shooter to mimic automatic weapons fire can plainly be seen attached to the butt of one of the shooter's rifles, as the Tribunist points out. In another picture from the attacker's hotel room, multiple guns are visible. *******. In a development that only deepens the mystery surrounding Paddock's motives, NBC News is reporting that the man who will go down in history as the Mandalay Bay shooter lost a slip-and-fall lawsuit against a Nevada casino in 2014. He reportedly still owed $270 in court fees at the time of his attack. Security video from the Cosmopolitan Hotel shows Paddock slipping and falling on October 30, 2011, as he walked from a hotel shop towards a high-stakes area in the casino. Paddock said he had slipped in a puddle of liquid and sued the hotel in 2012, initially asking for $100,000, according to an attorney for the hotel. Footage showing Paddock slipping and falling. The lawyer met Paddock when he testified in a deposition for the lawsuit. Paddock enjoyed a special high roller status with perks at least one Vegas casino, the lawyer said, but he was unkempt in his appearance, looking slovenly and bizarre during the deposition. However, the lawyer said there was nothing about Paddock that would ever indicate someone who was unstable. This is not a guy that I would have looked at and thought, he's going to commit a crime one day. Paddock's suit ended up in arbitration in 2014. According to the decision, Paddock reported incurring more than $32,000 in medical bills, and also wanted to be paid for pain and suffering. Security video shows him getting medical attention and then being stretchered out of the casino. As a result of the fall, said the document, Mr. Paddock allegedly sustained a tear to his hamstring as well as a sprain/strain injury to his wrist and elevated blood pressure. The hotel maintained that Paddock had failed to prove negligence because there was no actual or constructive notice of any liquid in the area of the sundry shop. The arbitrator confirmed that the video does show Paddock slipping and falling, but also noted a custodian can be seen passing the same spot about a minute before Paddock's accident, followed by about 20 hotel customers, and none of them appear to have noticed anything on the floor or tried to avoid a wet area. According to Paddock's brother Eric, Paddock was a millionaire thanks in part to real estate holdings in California. Caesars Entertainment had granted him a 7 stars designation as a frequent gambler with status at its casino properties, according to a source familiar with the investigation. 7 stars is the highest level that a high roller can achieve and is only granted by invitation. In the weeks prior to his death, according to multiple senior law enforcement officials and a casino executive, Paddock had gambled large sums of money at Vegas casinos. Currency transaction reports show that Paddock had recently gambled more than $10,000 a day.
Showing 2 guns used in the Las Vegas massacre. Pictures were taken from inside the shooter's hotel room on the 32nd floor of the Mandalay Bay Hotel.
Boston 25 News reporter Jackie Heinrich is in Las Vegas with more on this new evidence.
These photos were sent to me exclusively by one of my sources here in Las Vegas. It is chilling to see the weapons that were used in the killings of 59 people and used to injure more than 500 others, especially as the investigation behind me is still unfurling. That crime scene, the size, the length of 4 football fields, evidence collection is still underway, both at the concert venue and on the 32nd floor where these photos were taken. On that first picture that we were sent, you can see rounds of ammunition, shell casings on the hotel floor. You can also see the hammer that Stephen Paddock used to smash out those hotel windows. I'm told that he had 2 platforms set up in his suite, which was 2 rooms, on which he had bipods to stabilize the weapons, all assembled with a view of that concert. In that picture, you can also see the optics on that weapon. The second photo shows another gun, and right now, police tell me that they're working to figure out if any modifications were made to this weapon. They have to take it apart to see if it was modified to become fully automatic, but it is a semi-automatic weapon. These are just 2 of the 23 guns that were found in that hotel room. Reporting in Las Vegas, I'm Jackie Heinrich. Back to you.
He was described as being slovenly, not well kept. He was somewhat evasive in his answers. He was not combative. This is not a guy that I would have looked at and thought he's going to commit a crime someday.
Metropolitan Police Department, I'm going to provide you the final briefing for today. And as promised in our last briefing, we now have the lvmpd.com site up and running. It's a page listing resources available to our victims or family representatives of victims involved in the Route 91 Harvest Festival shooting. Information on the site includes instructions on how to report information if you were a witness, important phone numbers on how to provide photo and video evidence as soon as we have information on how to retrieve lost property. As the sheriff told you previously, we'll post that on the page as well. After this incident, one of the most striking visuals, in addition to the absolute carnage, was the sheer amount of personal items left behind as people fled from the terror. One of the biggest items left were vehicles of the concert goers. So for those people that are waiting to get that property returned to them, I have an update. There's a dirt lot on the corner of Giles Street, Giles, between Alibaba and Mandalay Road. There's approximately 150 vehicles over there that citizens have not yet been able to recover. Those cars can now be picked up by the registered owner by meeting officers at the corner of Reno and Koval. We'll have officers permanently assigned there, posted at the corner, to escort you to your vehicle. So again, we ask the owners of those vehicles that have patiently waited to get them back to meet our officers at the corner of Reno and Koval. bring your identification so we can match you back to your vehicle. The sheriff in the previous press conference was asked a number of questions by you, and I understand in the insatiable appetite of the media that you want some answers. I'm going to try to answer a couple of those questions that you asked, but I'm also going to just make it very clear to you that I need some patience from you. This investigation is a long time from being concluded. We recently went down to the Mandalay Bay. I can tell you that we're days away from completion of the processing of that room. We're getting very close to the completion of the processing of the site. We have a significant amount of time left there as well. However, the southbound portion of Las Vegas Boulevard is now completely open. We are also working diligently as we speak. I believe we just opened up 2 of the northbound lanes, and the completion of the northbound lanes should occur sometime this evening. So bearing in mind that the investigation is dynamic, ongoing, continuing, and I don't have a lot of answers for you yet, and clearly understanding that nobody wants answers to why more than the police and the victims' families. But we have a responsibility to get it right, and so that's why it's going to take time, and that's why we're going to take that time. However, there's some, I guess, at best, interesting reporting about how long the shooting lasted and how long it took us to get into the room. First question is, how long did the actual shooting last? I'm prepared to give you some information on that, and the first call came into our dispatch center at 10:08 p.m. about shots being fired. The suspect, I can tell you that we know now that he fired off and on for somewhere between 9 and 11 minutes. We know that the suspect fired over a dozen or so volleys, and we know that the firing by the suspect ceased at 10:19. So I want you to think about that. The first minute the police are aware of shots being fired at 10:08, and it stops at 10:19. That's a remarkable response by this police department. Also, another question that came up, how long was it before our SWAT team entered the suspect's room? Somebody said you heard that it was 72 minutes, and if why so long? As I just mentioned to you, and as the sheriff mentioned previously in the briefing, we had patrol officers actually working another event at the Mandalay Bay who heard the shooting, and they took it upon themselves to form up into a team, enter the stairwell, begin ascending the floors, and also evacuating hotel guests. The SWAT team had to arrive first at the Mandalay Bay before they could take any action. As I mentioned earlier, there was a very heroic security guard who was shot during the search for that suspect. That security guard went up to the room. He was advancing towards the room when the suspect fired through the door at the security guard and struck him. He was able to provide additional information to the police on exactly which room that we were looking at. However, at that time, it's important to note that the shooting had stopped. We're considering it a barricade at that point because it's no longer an active shooter. We're not hearing any further shots. The floors had already been evacuated of the guests. The suspect was now isolated and contained within a room. At the point that the SWAT team made their decision based on when it was appropriate to enter. I want to make it clear again to you that while there was that slight delay, the suspect was no longer firing into the crowd. There was a question about the validity of the crime scene photos that somebody had leaked. I can confirm those are, in fact, photos from inside of the room. They're, in fact, photos of our suspect. And as the sheriff mentioned previously, we have all opened up an internal investigation to determine the source of the leaks of those photos to the public. You asked what we found in the suspect's room, and the sheriff spoke a little bit about cameras being located. To clarify, there were 2 cameras located in the hallway so that the suspect could watch as law enforcement or security approached his room. And there was another camera placed inside the hotel room door peephole so that he could see down the hallway. At this point, you had a number of questions about the weapons, and the SAC from the ATF to my right, Jill Schneider, will answer or provide a statement to you, but not take any questions.
Good evening. I'm Special Agent in Charge Jill Snyder of ATF San Francisco Field Division. Special agents from the San Francisco Field Division's Las Vegas Field Office responded to the shooting that occurred on Sunday. Additional agents from other locations within the San Francisco Field Division, as well as agents from ATF's Los Angeles, Dallas, Phoenix, and Boston Field Divisions have been working on this investigation. We know that you have many questions regarding the firearms in this case. There's also been a lot of unofficial information being reported regarding the guns. We'd like to clear up any conflicting information regarding the number of firearms and the current status of the trace information. Please understand that this investigation is ongoing, and I won't be taking questions at this time because we're still working through all of our investigative findings, but I'll give you the facts that we have as of this time. Currently, 47 firearms have been recovered. These firearms were recovered from 3 different locations. Those locations consisted of the hotel room, as well as Verde and Mesquite, Nevada. They were purchased in Nevada, Utah, California, and Texas. The gunman purchased rifles, shotguns, and pistols. At this time, none of the guns recovered appear to be homemade. There were 12 bump fire stocks identified on the firearms in the hotel room. The ATF Firearms and Ammunition Technology Division provides determinations on devices such as bump fire stocks and their legality. The classification of these devices depends on whether they mechanically alter the function of the firearm to fire fully automatic. Bump fire stocks, while simulating automatic fire, do not actually alter the firearm to fire automatically, making them legal under current federal law. It is still being determined which firearms were used in the shooting. All of the firearms have been traced. We are still awaiting the results from some of the firearms that were located at the Mesquite residence. As the investigation proceeds, ATF will continue to conduct interviews and provide our resources and full support to the sheriff and all our local law enforcement partners. Thank you.
Thank you. As this investigation continues on, we continue to hear stories of heroics by police officers, first responders, and average citizens alike. I commend all of their actions as they showed immense courage in the face of extreme danger. I want to mention that one of those brave people was the Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Officer Charleston Hartfield. Officer Hartfield was at the Route 91 concert that night along with his wife when shots rang out. Even though Officer Hartfield was at the concert as a civilian, he immediately took action to save lives. In that moment, he was acting as a police officer. He ultimately gave his life protecting others. Officer Hartfield was an 11-year member of the LVMPD and leaves behind a wife and 2 children. We're very grateful for his sacrifice. There'll be a vigil to remember Officer Hartfield this Thursday, October 5th at the Police Memorial Park at 6 p.m. As you all know, that park is located at 3250 Metro Academy Way, and it's being hosted by our Police Protective Association. As this community has become accustomed when we do provide information in regards to our critical incidents, we release body-worn camera footage to you. There's a significant amount of body-worn camera footage that we're going through. However, I'm going to play a clip on our new very large monitor for you of a compilation of a number of those body-worn cameras. You'll see that the officers were dealing with some uncooperative citizens at times, but at all times they were trying to locate the source of the gunfire as well as evacuate those citizens that were in the line of fire. I think the video will speak for itself, so if you'd like to, I'll try to narrate just a little bit for you as we go through. But Carlos, if you could play that for me, please. That wall faces Mandalay Bay, and they're hunkered down behind that wall after an initial volley of shots.
Hey, they're shooting right at us, guys. Everybody stay down. Stay down. Where's it at? Come up with the Mandalay Bay and clear out the window.
Just a couple of officers hunkered down next to a patrol vehicle on Las Vegas Boulevard when one of our officers gets shot. This video is obscured. You'd notice the officers were wearing those yellow reflective vests. That's what you're actually seeing.
Everybody get down, get down, get down, get down.
Very difficult to tell from that video, but the officer's actually standing over another woman.
Get down, get down, get down. I got a vest on.
You heard him say, "I have a vest on."
Go. That way.
So before I take some questions, I understand that the coroner is here now. Oh, I'm sorry. I was looking right past you, John. This is John Fudenberg, the Clark County Coroner.
Thank you, Under Sheriff. Again, I'd like to just start by saying that my condolences go out to all of those that are involved in this incident, and specifically the family and friends who have lost loved ones in this incident. I'd like to provide you some information, some updated information on what's happening at the Family Assistance Center at the Convention Center. We're fully operational all evening, all through the night, and tomorrow at noon we will make a determination whether or not we're going to be open 24 hours going forward. But at minimum, we will be open from present time to 5 p.m. tomorrow. So we're still fully operational to answer any questions that the families may have, any friends of the families. I would also like to clarify, we are not releasing property at the Family Assistance Center. That is, as the sheriff mentioned earlier, that is going to be released. They're developing a plan currently to release that property in the future, and I'm certain that will be put out through one of these press conferences. I'd like to also discuss some of the numbers that we've been dealing with over there. I've had that question earlier by multiple media outlets. It's estimated we've served well over 1,000 family members and friends there at the Family Assistance Center. We're providing all sorts of services to include bereavement services, and our staff at the Clark County Coroner's Office has been meeting with every family that comes in there, and I'd like to again thank them. They're an amazing group of people, and they've been doing an amazing job in serving these families. I think everybody, except for the families, would consider this a huge success at the Family Assistance Center, and rightfully so. I think the reason the families may not is because if they're waiting 1 minute longer for us to provide information, that's too long. So they've been very patient. I appreciate that, and I just want to send a message to them that we are doing everything we can to communicate with them and get them the information that they need. If they want to come down to the Family Assistance Center, we're there to receive them and communicate with them. If they're not able to attend the Family Assistance Center, I'd like to provide you with a phone number that has been previously published, and that is within the state of Nevada, 211. Outside of the state of Nevada, that's 1-866-535-5654. We have call takers standing by to take missing persons reports. I believe that's tailored off quite a bit. To date, we have received over 3,000 missing persons reports. And I'd like to clarify what that means so people don't misreport the intent of that number or the intent of me giving you that number. That by no means means that we have 3,000 people missing. We believe that all 59 of the deceased are identified tentatively. We're working on positively identifying the rest of them, and we believe that will happen by the end of this evening. We estimate in between 9 and 10 p.m. So though that's very normal for us to receive an excessive amount of missing persons reports, missing persons report following an incident like that. So again, that by no means we have outstanding missing persons. We have very detailed manifest, and we believe that everybody involved in the incident from the decedent standpoint is accounted for, and we're waiting to communicate that with their families. So I'm available to answer any questions that you may have. I have limited time to answer questions, so I'll take a few. Yes, go ahead. Excuse me? Yes, the majority of them did. I'm not at liberty to tell you whether or not all of them did die as a result of gunshot wounds, simply because I don't know at this point.
How long until a list or names are released?
I'm working with the Metropolitan Police Department to develop that list, and we'll make that public. I would imagine that's not going to happen until at the earliest tomorrow morning.
The 3 victims that the sheriff mentioned earlier have not been identified. Is that because their families have not been able to come and identify them? Do you have any information on that?
We have, as I spoke to earlier, we have tentatively identified them, but we're working on some confirmation issues, and I'm confident they will all be identified. We believe we know who every single one of them is. It's just a matter of confirming that. We don't have the liberty to make any mistakes, so we've got to get it right. As the undersheriff mentioned earlier, we've got to get this right, so we need your patience, and we're going to work through the night to get that right, and I'm hopeful that we'll have all of those confirmed by tomorrow morning and the families notified. Yes, sir.
Sir, you said the majority that died of gunshot wounds. Are we, when we get the totals and everything, are we going to find some who did not die of gunshot wounds?
I don't believe so, but again, I can't confirm that right now.
Mr. Coroner, have you completed an autopsy on Mr. Bannock?
I'm not going to speak to the details of the examinations at this point.
Completed it?
Excuse me? Again, I'm not going to speak to any of the details of the examinations at this point, primarily out of respect for the families, Ken. I hope you understand that. Yes? Did you have a question? Yeah.
Can you describe the process for getting victims back to their home state that didn't live here, and when that will start?
Well, that's quite a lengthy process, but in a nutshell, the families of the decedents will make arrangements with the local area mortuaries, and they are the folks that provide details and provide the transportation back to their home states. Yes. One last question, if you would. I don't have that estimation, but we're putting that together, and we should have that by the time our list is finalized and confirmed.
Does the 59 include the shooter or not?
It does not. Excuse me, could you I'm not sure I understood that, and I want to give you accurate information. No, we have 58 dead plus the shooter for a total of 59.
And when you release the list, are you going to post it online at the same time you announce the past year?
This is the last question. I don't know. But that will be announced through one of these press conferences, probably later today or most likely tomorrow at some point. And that's all the questions I'm going to take. Thank you very much for your time. I can clarify the 59. We have confirmed 59 dead in our office. Yes. 58 plus the shooter for a total of 59. And that is confirmed. Okay? Thank you very much, Undersheriff.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Mr. Undersheriff, that leads to the initial question.
I didn't call on you first, Ken. But go ahead.
Is there another death somewhere else? We were told previously 59 plus 1.
Yeah, but remember, we also told you that the numbers of dead and wounded will continue to fluctuate, so the answer that the coroner provided you is the most recent and relevant number that we have.
I'm sure. Is there any indication that he was planning something else a couple of weeks beforehand in your investigation? Have you seen that anywhere?
No, I'm not prepared to speak about that, but that is part of our investigation.
Undersheriff, with the knowledge that Merritt was in the Philippines, possibility he spent money in the Philippines, and knowing the current climate in the Philippines, are you absolutely ruling out any connection to terrorism or anything like that?
We haven't absolutely ruled anything out in this investigation.
Undersheriff.
What I can just be, listen, I'm not trying to be coy, right? But I can confirm to you we have not ruled anything out.
Right, I mentioned that.
But I can also confirm to you that we have not ruled that in.
Right,
So we have a lot more questions than we have answers today. I understand that. We're very well aware of that. I'm sorry, go ahead, sir.
Can we get an update on any of the electronics that have been investigated?
I'll give that to you when we have it. It's not a simple process. It takes time, and the FBI is working diligently on that for us. Let me finish before you ask, all right? Thank you. Go ahead.
Do you have any information as to whether the shooter trained himself to fire these weapons anywhere? Did he visit any gun ranges? How did he train himself to fire weapons?
Right. So the question is do we have any information that the suspect had trained himself in firearms? I'm aware of that online reporting as well, but we have not been able to confirm any of that information yet.
Is there a theory on why the gunman stopped shooting? Did he see officers outside, or is there a time frame?
The investigation will obviously reveal that, I believe, personally, because the security guard's approach to the room obviously took his attention away, and he fired at the security guard, and then the immediate police response that followed on.
Tell me about what you're hoping to learn from Ms. Stanley when investigators speak with her. How will that interview help advance your investigation?
Great question. I can't reveal that because I don't know yet. We've got a lot of questions, I can tell you that.
Can you clarify on the timeline? The SWAT team entered around what time, and what point did the shooter stop the scene?
Yeah, the question is, can I give you the exact time that SWAT entered? I was hoping to provide that to you today. I'll provide that, or the sheriff will provide that in the next briefing.
But there was some long
There is a delay because he's not firing anymore. We treat the situation as a barricade at that point.
reported around 11 p.m. Is that incorrect?
I don't know what the time was. I'm working on trying to verify all of that information about when SWAT actually made entry via both radio communication and body-worn camera communication.
Who came to the door with security guard and the SWAT team?
The SWAT team is not your normal SWAT team. It was made up of both SWAT officers, patrol officers, and a K-9 unit.
Undersheriff, I'm getting information that Paddock may have checked into the Ogden in the days before he checked into Mandalay Bay. Is that accurate information?
I can't confirm that information now, but we've heard that same allegation.
Undersheriff, concerning Ms. Stanley and a question, she's in the Philippines. Your people have talked with her to some extent. Has she expressed any willingness to either A, return to the country, or B, answer questions when she does?
The question is Ms. Stanley coming back to the country? And we're aware of some information, but I'm not prepared to release that in this point in the investigation. I'll take two more. Back here.
So can you at least confirm the reports that that he wired $100,000 to an account in her name, in Mary Lou Danley's name?
Right. The question is, can we confirm that $100,000 was wired to the Philippines? The answer is no. We have financial subpoenas that the FBI has put out. Remains an active part of our investigation. We certainly want to know the answer to that question.
Can you confirm what time the security officer was shot that approached the door?
You know, it's just moments prior to our initial officers responding up there, so we'll add that to the questions that we can answer again tomorrow. And with that, I'm going to say this to you. I apologize. I forgot to introduce the special agent in charge of the Las Vegas field office, Aaron Rouse, and they've just been such great partners with us throughout this investigation. And as you know, we've been joined at the hip from the very beginning. As well, I'd like you to just make sure you pay attention to our elected officials from across this great state and here locally, Congressman Ewen and General Laxalt was here, and of course, County Commission Chair Steve Sisolak. They've been instrumental in supporting our organization throughout this, and we need it. There's a lot more questions than there are answers, and we will provide those to you just as soon as we can. Thank you.
Will you guys be providing this video to us? Because we'd love to get a copy of the video.
Jeff, I'm not answering questions. I will spell names. Spell names. That's what names do you need? What do you need?
We need Joe Schneider.
I know my people.
Need a car? Don't forget to stop by carmarshal.com, where you can scout through over 100,000 new and used car vehicles. Take a look around. Get you a new affordable car. carmarshal.com.
Hey Charlotte County, this is Charlotte County COPWATCH, and I found that I had to make a change this ending on my videos, letting you know about the channel and fair use laws, you know, how we can report on other people's reporting and how it's good, how it's bad, etc. But you guys can look it up yourself. It is legal. It's in there. But like I've told you before, that I've been cut off from making money on YouTube for 4 years. It's really weird, bizarre, but they cut the money off, but they said you can keep the channel, and now YouTube makes all the money. And if you get bored, plug it into Social Blade website, and you'll see that they are making a huge amount off the site. Right now it's at 63 million views, 53,000 subscribers, almost 3 million views a month. You know, trying to wake people up, and I make nothing. In fact, I got a customer that's ex-congressman. He said if I could ever find a lawyer, sue YouTube on it. But because this is nuts. 4 hours a day, and to save America. You know, but at the same time, it's worth it. Look at what our founding fathers did. They died for this country. So, but getting back to the money part, this is why I'm redoing the video. Is my dream of everyone giving $1, and it's going to be $53,000 a year, or if they did Patreon, which you know, can be monthly. That is not working. That'd be great if it did. Nothing is perfect. And I appreciate the people that do donate, you know, what they can on PayPal, and there again, I'm letting you guys know that is not much. Is, you know, monthly is, oh my god. So anyways, yes, you cannot live on it. It's very, very, very low amount. But the dollar things, I do appreciate that. But when I first said everybody give $1, that's not working. I'm just letting you guys know it's, yeah, that dream. Everybody gives $1. 53,000 subscribers, it's not working. So yes, if you can give more than that, you know, I appreciate it. Like I said, you know, I'm in a unique situation where, you know, we're already debt free, and I'm not rich, but with the little business that we have, I am able to do what I am able to do 45 hours a day, you know, letting you guys know what's going on. In 4 years, I've did the whole thing myself. 12,000 videos on there. I literally get emails where people are like, holy crap, I never knew it was this bad. And it is this bad, and it's getting worse every day because we have the internet, we have cell phones, we have cameras everywhere now, and it's just disgusting what's going on. And then, as you guys know too, we got Trump, we got Jeff Sessions doing a war on drugs, and now he wants to go after the forfeiture laws again. It's just unfreaking real. So if you can give more than that dream of everybody giving $1, yeah, that old video, that's not working. They're not, they're just not. So anyways, if you can give more than that dream is not working. Hardly anybody is giving. There you go. So that's why I'm remaking the video. If you can give more than that, that would be great. And there again, like I said, the Patreon's there. There is some people on there that are starting to give, but there again, it's very, very low. And like I said, I don't want to get rich off of that. I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing because, you know, it's still so stinking corrupt. It's not even funny. My court case that I'm going to be paying out of my pocket myself with Charlotte County's coming up. They illegally looked me up and then posted all my information on LEOAFFAIRS website. They basically doxed me, however you want to say that. I forget what the word is. And they outed me, man. And that information on that site went out to 500 sheriffs, deputies, people that work at the jail, etc., etc., etc. So, yeah, it is very, very scary, but we're going to do a federal case, 1983 case, violating freedom of speech. We have 17 cameras in the house now. We got 2 cameras in the car. I always carry a camera plus a cell phone. A lot of people are highly recommending I get a vest now. If I could, if the wife would let me, I would run for sheriff. We are trying to push the thing nationwide right now. Where just to mix it up and to get the topics out there is register to run for sheriff, NPA, no party affiliation, as a write-in, and that is completely free, and you can participate in the elections. And there's a lot of stuff. We got a guy, James McLinnis in Pinellas County, Tampa, who almost won. He experienced the corruption himself. The story is unbelievable. Look him up. It's mind-blowing what they did. It pissed him off. He is very, very smart. He has way more money than I did. He ran for sheriff at the last 3 months last year in 2016 and almost won. He got all of the black vote. And the reason why he did that is because he ran in, I will not bust, we're in Florida, I will not bust anybody for weed anymore unless it's an ungodly huge amount, like pounds. And then he also ran in, no more victimless crimes, no more of this freaking road pirate bull crap. And then he was going to cut the budget by 30%. And when you think about that, you can. If you stop the road pirates, you can get rid of a bunch of people. Gone. So, the wife has been saying, yes, I can, yes, I can't. So I don't know. We're trying to find somebody that can do it because I am busy doing this anyways. But, so I'm making a video, like I said, that $1 a month from everybody, you know, for 53,000 subscribers, that is not working. I'm just letting you guys know. Absolutely give way more than $1 a month. If you can, I appreciate anything. By the way, remember too, when you give that, PayPal takes like freaking 15 to 20%, so it's even worse than that. But, and there again, like I'm letting you guys know, it's way, what I get is very, very low. Appreciate it, but it is very, very low. Can't live on it. I'm just, you know, I'm working, and that's what I'm working on. And that court case is going to cost a buttload of money. That's federal court. Just the filing fees and the depositions that we're going to be doing with this corrupt cop. So there's another reason to give. We are going to be doing a deposition with this very corrupt. He was in a drug squad. He is a bad guy. He's on steroids. We heard steroids are rampant here. That's why their attitude is so bad. And we are going to get him on video, and it will be on YouTube. So that case alone is $5,000 just to bring it to court, and that's my money out of my pocket. So there's another reason to give, and give way more than $1 if you can. So keep that in mind. This is the new video, and I see, God, I talk a lot. It's already 7 minutes, but had to make it just to let you know that $1 a month from everybody is not working. They're not doing it. So if you can give more than that, please. So thanks. Keep it up. Share, like, subscribe, tell your friends, send me your videos on corruption, and I'll post it.